How's it going? So, topic water plants. They're awesome. Manuman, awesome. Otherwise known as wild rice. What can be done with it other than just cooking it how you normally would, serving it to the family? Sometimes you're left with leftovers. What can you do? Well, we're going to have some fun. We're going to try out a recipe. Something that's vegan, no dairy, that's a plus, and it's going to be great on hot days come the summer. But with that being said, let's do this. All right. Sorry, my bad. All right, first thing we have here, we got the blender. Already have the sugar in there. Oh, sorry, that's the coconut sugar. Next up, wild rice. Piece there. Almond milk. And then everything into the blender. And then we're going to puree. All right, and that's done. From here, we're going to set this aside. All right, next up, we have these bad boys here. We got maple syrup, maple sugar, cornstarch, vanilla, half a cup of coconut milk removed from the total amount of coconut milk, which, by the way, is 2 full cans. From here, what we do with this, take our cornstarch, add that in. We're going to mix to combine. Switching hands. That's combined. Set that aside. From here now, we're going to take everything and combine the rest of the ingredients into the pot. I know, it's difficult. It's so much steps here, but it's okay. We'll get through it. I know. All right. Sorry, pardon me being a goof. From here, we turn it on. We want medium low heat. Medium low heat. And we stir to combine. Want to make sure that everything is dissolved as much as possible. And we're going to let this heat up for about 2, maybe 3 minutes. It's been a couple minutes. From here, we're going to go back to our coconut milk and cornstarch mixture. Give it a mix to make sure that it is combined, because cornstarch does settle a little bit at the bottom. This here into the bowl, the pot. That aside, and then take our mixed wild rice mixture. We're going to add this. And then, continuing on medium low to medium heat, you're going to continue to mix until this thickens. Okay, you want it to be able to coat the back of a spoon without being all liquidy and watery. You want to be able to dip your, do an example here, spoon in and see how it just kind of runs off, we want it to at least hold, okay? So this is gonna take about, as I may have mentioned, 6-8 minutes, and we'll come back to you when it's ready. All right, it's thickened. As you can see now, it's not as liquidy, it's got some body to it, okay? If I were to stop whisking, it does come to a boil. That means it is and has reached its maximum thickening capacity, and we've just slightly, while we've cooked out the starch from the cornstarch from here, turn off the heat. This whisk aside, and then over to another bowl. We're going to strain our mixture. Once we've strained it, we're going to cool it on an ice water bath, and then into a Ziploc, and we're going to let it rest overnight. All right, I wanted to just show you what I mean by an ice water bath here. You have a bowl with ice and water. This bowl goes on top. From here, all I'm doing is just mixing. And the whole reason for this is we want to make sure that this has been cooled completely, because we are going to put this into an ice cream maker. And for that, I have to make sure that the ice cream attachment that I have is frozen overnight. And if we were to put a hot custard base or a hot mix like this into it, it would initially just, or not even initially, it would just not work, because it would heat up the ice cream basin that's been frozen in order to turn this into a smooth ice cream soft serve consistency. So hence, colder is better. And then what will happen as well is, as we let this sit overnight, it's going to get creamier and just make things taste better tomorrow. All right. So real quick, what I meant by the ice cream basin, one of these things, this is one I have for my KitchenAid. All I do is I'm going to be cleaning this out, dry it, stick it into my freezer. It's filled with liquid. That liquid's going to freeze overnight, and then tomorrow put everything in while it's running in my KitchenAid, let it mix for 5-10 minutes until we got soft serve consistency, and then we just freeze the mixture, and voila. See you tomorrow. All right, welcome to day 2 of making wild rice ice cream. Got my KitchenAid here, and then this is the ice cream base from yesterday. It's been in the fridge overnight, doing its thing, getting nice and creamy and letting the flavors come together. Now, all I need to do is put the attachment on, turn it on, dump in the mixture. We're gonna let it churn for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then from there, we'll have a wonderful soft serve that all we need to do is set overnight and we can enjoy. I got the ice cream base, or sorry, the attachment set up. Very important, again, to let this go overnight, take it as cold as possible. And then what I've done is I've set myself up for success. I got my container here, cloth, and a spatula for scraping out everything. This bowl here is just to put the bag here afterwards so I don't make too much of a mess. Now all we're going to do is we're going to turn this on to stir, or the lowest speed, and while it's mixing, we're going to dump the mixture in. We don't want to do it when it's not mixing, otherwise it'll almost freeze solid, and then you're just stuck with a big block of delicious ice cream base. So let's do it. there it is. This took about 15 minutes, give or take, and it's done. It's soft serve consistency. Now I'm going to take it from there, transfer it into this plastic container. Why? Because we shouldn't put glass in the freezer. Could break, shatter, not safe. Let's get her done. And I'll see you in a couple hours. Bye-bye. All right, here we go. Probably wondering, why is it in a Ziploc? Well, first off, it's in two things of plastic wrap. I have one on the outside and then one that's more pressed down against the frozen custard base. It's to, from my understanding, the trick or the kitchen hack is by keeping it in a Ziploc bag is it helps to keep your ice cream at a softer consistency for scooping. You don't get a solid brick of ice cream. Here's the ice cream, frozen. Yes, I went into it. It's worth it. But wanted to make sure y'all saw the consistency. Ice cream scoop has not been in hot water or water at all. One scoop. Two scoops. And to me, that's a good sign because it means that we don't have a solid piece of or brick of ice cream. It's pliable, it's scoopable, and it just means eating it is so much easier. But the question is, how does it taste? Okay, like I mentioned before, how does it taste? See if you can see that clearly or not. Maybe. Anyways. Okay. So, I like this. For an ice cream that's one, dairy-free, no eggs, vegan, and has wild rice in it. You do get, again, because it's not a full fat custard base like you would for an ice cream, a little bit of mouthfeel with some like ice crystals in there, but that's to be expected. The wild rice, there is some grayness from that, but it's not displeasing. The fat content from the coconut milk gives it that positive mouthfeel of having dairy in it, but there's not. So that's a bonus. All in all, this is really good. And if I were to make one little tweak, it would probably be to double up on the wild rice. Or you could even toast the wild rice before you cook it to give it that extra dimension of flavor. Alternatively, we could garnish this with some cracked, popped, or puffed wild rice, maple syrup or honey, birch syrup. Whew, yeah. There's so many different things we could do for this. For those of you like me who are chocolate lovers, when making the custard base, by adding in like some cocoa powder and some chocolate to it, then melting it down to make it a chocolate wild rice ice cream, definitely could do that. Needless to say, it's a recipe, it's a building block. Your imagination is your limitation with this. Have some fun, be creative with it. And to be honest, you're not going to go wrong with this recipe by any means. Like I mentioned earlier, I tested it out. I gave some to my son, 4-year-old, ice cream fanatic. He was pleasantly surprised. It was literally, if I could reenact it, it was, oh, what is this? And I told him it's wild rice ice cream. He was like, yeah. If he said that, that's just, again, my interpretation. Regardless, positive results, positive feedback. It's positive. Give it a try. You like it? I think you will. But enjoy it. Take care. Later. You really gotta stop doing that.